She made a Tumblr.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Cool. All right. So here. All right. Yep, we are going live here. I am just going to make sure that everybody has the link to our show, and we're just going to talk while we're doing it. She made a Tumblr. Oh, there we go. That's probably going to go there. Yeah, the audio from that's probably going to cut in. Let me see here. Copy. All right. I'm sorry here. I just want to let people know that we're live.
No worries. It's all right. Maybe they just missed the toilet flushing. The joys of doing this from a house with children and spouses and such.
That's awesome.
In
All right.
apartment life, really.
Oh yeah, we have an apartment too, so absolutely I know what that's like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh,
am in a house, but like a uni house. So
oh, that's right. Yeah. You excited about doing that?
yeah, it's my second year, so I know all the people I moved in with, but
Oh, cool. Oh,
Cool.
wait, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. That's cool. That's cool. All right. So let's get started here. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Uh, My name is Eric Mitchell. I'm one of your hosts for today, and we are actually for all time. Welcome back to Starlight Beacon Transmissions. We have a fun show for you tonight. I am joined by two awesome guests. They are both two big High Republic fans and members of our Starlight Beacon Transmissions community. Please welcome Lavender the Librarian. And from the UK, please welcome Vernestra Rowe cosplayer Lil. Thank you both for joining me tonight, and welcome to the show. I hope that you all are having a good week. Hope that Tempest Runner didn't wreck you as much as Rising Storm did. But
I got to like 20 minutes to go, and then I was like, how is it going to break my heart this time?
and we'll get to that. We will get to that here in just a little bit. But first, I just wanted to talk to you both about your Star Wars journeys, how you got into Star Wars, like what age you got into Star Wars, what your first movie was, all of it. So let's take it away. Whoever wants to go first, go right ahead.
Should we
You can
draw
go
for it?
first.
Okay. So actually, I just realized it was probably about 20 years ago that I saw my first Star Wars movie.
Oh, cool.
Excuse me. I watched all of the original trilogy on VHS with my uncle and my cousins. And then for the next several years, whenever we went to church, it would be like, may the force be with you and also with you, and
Hmm.
caused my grandma a heart attack almost every Sunday. Yeah, that was really fun. And then as a teen, the prequels were coming out, and I had already kind of gotten into Star Wars reading.
Hmm.
So I spent like an entire summer at my local library powering through the new Jedi Order. Um,
Oh,
yes,
that was a
I, I
fun
am
one.
I am an EU fan first, but I'm okay with the Disney takeover. I love it all.
Yeah.
My cat's name is Jaina.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, my husband wouldn't let me name a kid Jaina, so the cat is Jaina. So I was like just totally geeked for like Disney plus Star Wars,
Hmm.
and like it's never left me. Um, and it actually led me into my career as a librarian because I spent all my time in the library and realized
Nice.
I loved it. So that's
Nice.
that's that.
Very cool.
And I'm a frequent visitor of Batu.
You and I are going to get along very
Oh,
well.
there's no blade inserted, so.
But that's the Temple Guard saber, and that is beautiful.
Oh,
Oh, is
this is
that the one
actually
that you made?
yeah, this is my Savi saber.
Oh,
It,
nice.
it's uh it's kind of High Republic themed actually, and
Yeah.
it's got a purple kyber in it.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
That's
Uh,
so cool.
Lil, go ahead.
Yeah, so my dad saw the original trilogy in films when he was a kid. So I'm kind of like a legacy Star Wars fan. And then I saw all the sequels when they came out because like it was new, 14 when I saw the Force Awakens.
Hmm.
Um, and then I was just like kind of a casual fan. And then I so I got back from uni last Christmas, and my family had gotten Disney Plus
Hmm.
while I was away in the first term, and I watched the entirety of The Mandalorian,
Oh,
and then I just started like posting stuff on TikTok, and then I rewatched all of the Clone Wars, I watched all of Rebels,
yeah.
and I just really got back into it, and then I was in this Discord group, which is run by Hannah Solo on TikTok,
Hmm.
and we had a book club, and we read The Light of the Jedi because like it had come out like the week before, and we're like, oh, let's read this, and started there, the High Republic.
I need a
Nice.
Star Wars book club.
Yeah. Um, Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
server. I'll send you the link.
Um, yeah, it's awesome just to see like everybody's Star Wars journeys. Going through the sequel trilogies the sequel trilogies what kind of brought you back, but Disney Plus is the way that you came back, and that's just awesome. And for Meg and I were talking about this last week, for the High Republic to bring new fans in is something very special, because some people that have never seen the movies are now reading these Star Wars books and discovering this universe for the first time. And I will say this, I read through New Jedi Order also. That series, that was actually my first Star Wars thing too, reading. Um when they, spoiler alert, if for something that's almost 20 years old plus 20
Oh gosh,
years,
yeah.
they hit Chewie with a moon and kill him.
In the
Um
first book,
in the
they didn't
first
even give him
book.
a chance.
he got through three-quarters of the first book and they kill him. And
Oh
then,
wait, I just realized I said it's been 20 years since it's been 30 years since I first
yeah,
saw Star Wars. Gosh,
I
yeah,
feel like a baby.
huh?
I feel like a baby.
Oh, I know when you said you were 14 when you saw the sequels, I was like,
Yeah, I'm
oh man,
20.
S-
you're a
s-
baby.
So I want to actually talk about this real quick. The lead up to The Force Awakens, like
Mhm.
after Disney bought Lucasfilm and they announced the sequel trilogy, the lead up to The Force Awakens was something that, Lavender, you and I experienced with the lead up to the prequel trilogy,
Oh yeah.
with the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. It was like that period of time, like where everything was just super exciting, and like we
Yeah, like
didn't know what
oh,
we were gonna get.
nope. Like casting announcements and you're like,
Hmm.
oh, who is this person gonna be? I was convinced that Daisy Ridley was gonna be Jaina Solo. So
I know.
and it led to me proclaiming maybe a month before the movie came out, I was like, okay, her name is Rey. That's fine. She's going to be Rey Skywalker.
Yeah,
So, so when I saw Rise of Skywalker, I was like,
you called
prophetic.
it. You
Yep,
called
in a
it.
way.
Yeah, in a way. I I still wish like some things had happened differently in the sequel trilogy, but all in
Oh,
all,
absolutely.
I'm very happy with the sequel trilogy. So we have just a couple of news things to get to before we get into Tempest Runner. Kind of slow news week for Star Wars, like really kind of a slow news week. We have a build up coming with the Life Day Treasury hitting in just a few days, and then we have Edge of Balance hitting in just a few days, which is pretty crazy that they're both going to hit back to back. This past week we had High Republic number 9 and High Republic Adventures. Was it number 8 or was it number
8,
nine?
yeah.
It was 8.
It was
Okay,
number 8. Yeah,
Yeah.
because Adventures is one episode behind,
that's right. And
or issue.
if you're not reading those, please do so because they are
Oh,
both
they're so
fantastic.
good.
And I'm gonna keep saying and I'm trying not to keep saying but Kevin Scott and Daniel Jose Alder and the art teams that they're working with, absolutely knocking it out of the park,
Yeah.
creating some of our favorite characters in the High Republic, especially Skier. Like Skier is amazing, and what he's gone through in that main series is fantastic. And we get Skier in Tempest Runner, and I can't wait to talk about
Oh,
that here in
yes.
just a minute. So we have the Life Day Treasury coming out this week, which is going to be from George Mann and Kevin Scott. It is also going to be illustrated, and I forgot the illustrator's name, and I'm so sorry. Actually, you have it,
Wait,
right?
I can reference. I don't have it, but I have the other book.
Okay, Dark Legends.
Grant Griffin is the
Okay,
illustrator for that series.
yes. And the cover features our boy Stellan Gios. I wouldn't really call him our boy because he's complicated. That's one way
Yep.
of putting it. And oh yes, Farm Boy, sorry for not saying hi to you earlier. Star Wars Visions does come out in 2 weeks, so we do have that to look forward to as well, which is going to hit really, really hard. And then I believe Ronin is an October release.
Mhm.
Okay. And I
Yep.
know some people have already read it. I myself am really looking forward to that one. But let's talk about the Life Day Treasury here. And we know that there is a Celangeos story. We know that there's probably a Chewbacca story here as well.
There has to be.
Yes, and it feels like all we're doing lately is either talking the High Republic or Life Day
Hmm.
because Disney seems to like just be doubling down on Life Day. And I think it's about time. I mean,
I really hope we get that Life Day celebration in Batsu this year. Come
yes.
on.
I think that they're trying to erase, like, so when you search Star Wars Life Day, you don't get the weird Christmas special from the 80s.
Yeah.
I spent my
And
birthday night watching that a few years ago with friends, good friends, and too much wine, and that was the only way it's ever made sense to me.
Oh yeah. Um we I watched it with some friends years ago, and the only way we were getting through that was drunk.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that was the only way we were getting through that. It's it's something very special. I will say that. But
B.
it's
Arthur. Ugh,
she's great in that actually. She's
she
really
really
good in
was.
that. And so is Harrison Ford. Really, Harrison Ford's
Yes.
actually really good in that too. Mark Hamill looks nothing like Luke Skywalker in that.
No, it's almost like they cast somebody else.
Yeah,
They did a deep fake.
yeah. Before the
70s deep fake.
Mandalorian.
They're like, oh, he's busy this week. We'll just deep fake it. It's fine.
yeah, the deep fake in The Mandalorian looks better, like more like Luke Hamill than.
Yeah,
I still say they should have used Sebastian Stan. He looks like him. He's already on the
Absolutely.
payroll.
yeah,
We can understand why he wouldn't look exactly the same.
We can forgive it for it being Sebastian Stan.
yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier was very good, and I will say that yeah, we can forgive it for Sebastian Stan because
Like he looks like he should be his son.
yeah, like if you were gonna cast Ben Skywalker, like that's who you
Oh,
should cast as Ben Skywalker.
oh yes, definitely.
And so with Life Day, you mentioned a Life Day celebration on Batu. A
Hmm.
few weeks ago, when they announced the Life Day comic, we had this discussion about Life Day.
I heard. Actually I listened to it yesterday because I was like, these people are on my wavelength. Like, let's do it.
Yeah. We talked about it, and I agree. They should actually do a Life Day celebration in the parks. It would be it would be really it would be bad if they didn't because they would miss out on some money.
Oh yeah. Have you guys talked about the guide to Batu, the traveler's guide,
Um, I
before?
I mention it briefly here and there. I've read through that thing like 3 times. I love it. The Traveler's Guide to
Okay.
Batuu. Yeah.
Yep. That's because they mentioned they have like a list of like holidays
Yep.
celebrated on Batu, and they have like I forget what they call May the 4th, like Force Day or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Um,
think it's Force Day. And that,
and yeah, they talk November 18th is Life Day, and I'm like, if I show up at Galaxy's Edge on November 18th and I don't see Chewie wearing a red robe, I'm gonna be like false advertising.
yeah. And then I
Yeah,
believe,
I seem to remember someone asked on TikTok. I think I remember who asked it. It was always fun. I can't remember who answered it, but she was asking about like what traditions the Jedi celebrate and stuff. And apparently, they canonically celebrate Halloween.
yes. Yeah. Yes,
How did I not
Halloween
know this?
is actually celebrated in
Well,
the Star Wars
Legends
universe.
canon, but
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
we can pick.
We can
that's
pick.
fine.
We can pick.
If
Things
it's
have
not
been canonized from
contradictory, we can
Legends.
pick.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. If Dave Filoni can take Thrawn 6 years after Jedi and put him into Rebels, you can
Oh yeah.
have the Jedi celebrate Halloween. It's not a problem. But I believe they also do a Batuan, or in the Traveler's Guide, they talk about a Batuan Harvest Festival
Yes,
for the
yes, they
fall.
do.
Yeah, 'cause it's supposed to be really
Hmm.
lush, isn't it?
Yeah. And
Not
yeah,
that
it has
Florida is very
actually,
lush then.
well, yeah. It has a lot of Batu, because in the Black Spire Outpost book by Delilah Dawson, they talk about how Black Spire is actually surrounded by a lot of farmland and
Hmm.
everything. I would love to see a Batuan Harvest Festival like late
Oh
September,
yeah.
October through November, and you could sell limited tickets to that, make it like an after hours event, kind of what they do for Boo Bash. Well, RIP Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Oh no.
But
I mean, even if they just like refresh the menus or something,
yeah,
put up some fall decorations,
but
some
Life
some
I'm gonna
Day,
be
seasonal
so
gourds.
excited when they
what's that?
finally build that Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland Paris. And then maybe I'll finally actually go.
Are they planning on doing that?
I've heard that there's plans,
Okay.
but so like I do speak French, but like
Hmm.
not Star Wars lingo, so I have to learn that.
It's okay.
Also, it'll be like years away anyway, so
Yeah.
You have time to brush up on your French basic.
Where would they put
yeah.
that though? Would it go into Walt Disney Studios Park, or would it actually go into Disneyland Paris if they did
I don't know
Galaxy's
that
Edge?
much about Disneyland Paris. I just know that there's one in Paris.
Disneyland Paris. Yeah. And I'm surprised that there isn't another European Disney park outside of that.
Yeah.
I was just talking with my family about that today because we were watching all sorts of Disney parks videos from around the world.
Hmm.
And everyone was like, the fireworks show in Paris is so good. Let's go there. And they're like,
Yeah.
why is
Yeah.
part of it in English? I'm like, because it's right next to England.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, the thing is, France is like, okay, so it's not in the middle of Europe, but it's in the middle of Western Europe. So you can
mhm.
drive there from Portugal and Spain. You can and Andorra, and you can drive. Well, and you used to be able to get really easily down from the UK. Um, and but then you've also got like Belgium, the Netherlands,
Mhm.
Luxembourg, Switzerland, Italy, and Germany, all bordering that. So it's like, and of course Schengen agreement, so you can just drive straight there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Farm
For
Boy,
life.
sorry that you missed the introductions. Joining me are Lavender and Lil, members of the High Republic community and our community. Coming on, we're talking about Tempest Runner. We were going to talk Star Wars Resistance, but I felt that this was a bigger thing to talk about. But for Life Day here, during the conversation that we had, we were talking about how Disney would also, we were joking about how Disney would do like a 4 night thing for the Galactic Star Cruiser for $8,000 per person, and you don't even get to set foot on Batuu because it's just Life Day for 4 days straight, and all you're doing is orbiting Batuu. So all you can do is look out the window.
Look out the window and eat tip yip.
Hey, that sounds like a really good cruise to me, actually.
It does actually.
So, but the Life Day Treasury looks really, really cool. I have not read these kind of like storybooks yet, if that's what you could call them. You've read Dark Legends and Myths and Fables?
Yes. Yeah, I have the Galaxy's Edge version of both of those that they did at Target last
Okay,
year. So
yeah,
I got a couple extra stories too.
nice. Have you
Yeah.
read those, Lil?
I have not.
Okay,
I'm
that
like secretly waiting for the day when I can use them in some library programming because like I'm actually a librarian, like that's my
Yeah.
day job. So I'm like, ooh, can I do a Star Wars program where we just like sit around the campfire and tell dark legends?
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Fingers crossed.
Does.
That
I
sounds
did it for Gravity Falls a few years ago, but Star Wars would
really
be. Yeah, yeah. We had a Gravity Falls like cosplay day, and we made a little campfire and told like spooky stories.
nice.
Nice.
Yeah, and by campfire I mean it was like fabric with flashlights in it, but still, it
Yeah,
was an indoor campsite.
yeah. That's pretty cool though. So we have that coming out. That is hitting on the 7th, way before Life Day. And then we also get the Life Day cookbook on November 2nd, which
Yes.
I was telling my wife earlier that we need 2 Star Wars cookbooks. We need the Galaxy's Edge one and we need the Life Day one because I want to make Wookiee cookies. And
I don't have it on the shelf. I have the Galaxy's Edge one. I love it so much.
yeah, actually, the Wookiee cookies are in the other one that we have. So, so there's that, and then that leads us to High Republic, which is going to lead us to our next, to our main topic here. But we have the release of Edge of Balance, the first High Republic manga. This is written by Justine Ireland. This hits on Wednesday as well. This this book, or no, Tuesday actually. Tuesday. I'm thinking strangely here. I got a recipe for Tip Yip from the Galaxy's Edge cookbook. That's awesome, Farm Boy. That's awesome. But we have the manga coming out. It looks absolutely beautiful. I believe that we've all read the preview now, which is just
I haven't, but that's okay.
okay. Well, I
My
believe
library hasn't got our copy in yet either.
ah
Yeah, we usually get our stuff in a few days early so we can put it on the shelf on release day, but
yeah.
no such luck.
I believe it's only like 5 or 6 pages. I believe is the preview, but we see Lily and Stellan and I'm forgetting the Wookiee's name.
It's
What's that?
I can grab it. It's just over there.
Okay, yeah, sure, go ahead. I think I also have it too.
Oh, this is the other Wookiee in addition to Buryaga, right?
Yes. Is it
New
Arkov?
Wookiee.
I believe it might be Arkov. And now we're all like going to Google and everything.
Yep.
Because she mentions it in like the first few pages.
Arkoff.
Arkov. Okay. So we're introduced to another Wookiee Jedi, which is really, really cool. Uh, all we know is that they help with the emergencies, and then we are introduced to a brand new Jedi temple, or Jedi outpost, I should say, because let's face it, there's only like 2 main temples, and that's on Coruscant and Starlight. This, I gotta tell you, this Jedi outpost looks absolutely gorgeous. I love how it's incorporated into a tree, and it looks like it would be on Kashyyyk if it wasn't on this other planet. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are we for Edge of Balance and these new characters? And
Very.
very
Because
11. Even without the preview, I'm like, High
go,
Republic manga, sign me up.
yeah. Go ahead, Lil.
obviously, like the world building element
Yes.
of it all. Because like my favorite part of Star Wars is the world building. And just like how they manage disaster and disaster relief. Because obviously these are refugees.
Yes.
And then they may call them settlers, but obviously it's not the same kind of settler that we'd think of,
Hmm.
where they're settling onto other people's land. They're empty planets that they have terraformed and they have made habitable.
Yeah. Lavender, do you want to cut in there for a minute? Because it looks like you have something to say too.
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
Sorry. I was thinking of something, but I was like, I, did you guys mention which planet this was? Or is it
Uh,
not?
it does mention it in it. Actually, I've got it too. Let me
And
see.
also, I think that's just my natural facial expression. I always look like I want to say something.
It is.
So we start on Claw.
Yeah, we start on Claw, and then yeah, that's when we see Stellan wreck his Vector. Um,
Oh my gosh.
which now we know.
He like can't even say anything to Vern now.
Yeah,
They're going to Banshee.
Banshee. Yes,
Okay, so these are like totally they're new places.
yes, these are completely
It's
new
so pretty.
places.
Like, look at this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love that. You know what it looks like? It looks like the tree from Octo with the
Yes.
way that the branches come out.
It's also giving me like elven vibes. He's like, the tree, the talons in Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
in
Hmm.
Lothlorien. It's giving me those vibes.
Yeah.
It's just even better then.
It's
It's
giving me.
like working with nature instead of against it.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the big draws to the book for me as well and that's been one of my draws to the High Republic, especially when it comes to seeing these Jedi outposts on these various planets and how they've built these outposts into various features of the planet to make it feel natural for people to walk in. And Banshee is also giving me I don't know if you've played World of Warcraft, but it's giving me Night Elf vibes a little bit too.
Yeah.
I haven't.
It,
Yeah.
like I do get a lot of like the woodland like elf vibes to this as well, but I also get a lot of feudal Japan vibes. But I guess that's what a manga is supposed to do. But to see a joke that is in Out of the Shadows actually get paid off in the first few pages of this manga with Stellan wrecking his Vector is something that I can't wait to read it again because it's too funny. And and he has no room to talk and neither does Vernestra about that. But I want to get your thoughts on this before we go into Tempest Runner, and I feel like I'm all over the place with my thoughts with all of this, and I do apologize for that. But I mean, this is probably going to be a series with Lily. I believe like this isn't going to be a one-off thing. How many volumes do you think this goes if it does go more than like 5 volumes?
That's a good question. And I can say someone in the Star Wars Book Nerds group on Facebook,
Mm,
the bookstore has the copies out already. And it does have a one stamped on the cover for like
okay.
volume one. So continuing. But yeah, I don't know. Like, will they make it continuous like some of the mangas like, Naruto or Bleach or something where you have like hundreds of volumes? Like I don't see it getting to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like it depends like how intimate they get with their storytelling.
Hmm.
So like the difference between say the High Republic Adventures and the High Republic um comics is that in the High Republic Adventures you get to know the characters like very intimately.
Hmm.
The story doesn't move as fast, but like you still feel like you're going somewhere
Hmm.
because you get to see the characters develop even though not much time has passed. Whereas like with the High Republic and like this isn't like a criticism, but like it's more like a thing I'm not so keen on because like I really like Eve, like I really relate to her and stuff, but like I wish we could see more of her developing
Mm.
because at the moment it's just like this happens, let's move on kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah, totally get that.
I feel like Daniel Jose Alder can tell the longer story. I mean, not saying that Kevin Scott can't tell a longer story when it
Yeah,
comes
he
to
definitely
this.
can.
Yeah, but I feel you're right. High Republic Adventures really just slows everything down, and you see how this really affects people. Whereas, and this isn't a criticism against Kevin Scott, where I believe that in certain story arcs, yes, you have to focus on certain characters. Because for like the first 4 or 5 issues of the High Republic comic, it's mostly Skier that we're
Mhm.
dealing with, and it's not until the Drengir event happens in that book where it shifts focus to Avar.
Yeah.
But with the High Republic Adventures, it feels like everybody gets their moment throughout each issue where it just shifts focus to like each character to give them enough time to develop. Like to know buckets of blood and Yoda are world-renowned bakers is
Yeah.
is something.
Sorry, I had to.
I
Yeah.
want the recipe book.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the recipe book I want.
Yeah. I'm
So I
totally.
have a library literacy standpoint to the points that you guys are making. So Daniel Jose Older typically has been writing for younger people,
Yeah.
and High Republic Adventures is geared towards all ages. It's kids through adult. Like adults will enjoy it, but like it is the writing style and the characters are kind of more catered to a younger audience. And kids, when they're reading, tend to do better with stories that are more character focused than plot focused.
Yeah.
So it's like those characters are taking you through the story versus, the panels taking you through the story. So it's going to have that more focus on the characters. And the same goes for like the middle grades books.
Mm-hmm.
They're, kind of covering some of the same situations that happen in the adult and teen books, but from that like younger standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like with but obviously also with the High Republic, like Ava is one of the main characters. We still don't know actually that much about Ava.
I know.
It's like she's like one of the big ones, like at the front and center. We still don't know a ton about her. So I'm really in because like maybe she'll get covered in Fallen Star or
I have my theories about that.
Maybe.
also what color are her eyes? Because
Oh my God, are they
We've had
blue? Are
that
they
debate.
brown? Were they only blue because she was like teary-eyed? I don't know.
Is she Edward Cullen?
Don't get it. It's coming back to Twilight. No, I'm kidding.
I'm sorry, I just
No,
said
you're
my...
fine. You're fine. No, it's fine.
Have we seen Avar Kriss in the sun? Does she sparkle? These are questions that need to be answered.
She is actually, if you read Great Jedi Rescue, she does
Oh,
come off
yeah.
the long beam and she is in the sun. She doesn't
That's true.
sparkle. Maybe
Actually, I
the
should know that.
Force.
I illustrated that scene. That was like the first High Republic thing that I've drawn was Avar in the field with her lightsaber spinning around.
Yes. But I want to go back to the manga here and just the opportunities that we have because we know Lily's going to be the main character of this thing. But is this another way to really like explore Stellan Geos or maybe bring Elzar Man into this as well? Or are we just going to get Elzar just in main novels and not really showing up in a lot of things? Hey Zach, how's it going? Um I So that's one question there. Another question is, what other Jedi are we going to see on this
I want
planet?
to see Belle.
Bell, yes.
We have
Yes.
not seen Belle Zettifar outside, like even mentioned outside of Light of the Jedi and Rising Storm.
Oh, that's a good point.
They're his books.
I thought he was in. I thought he showed up in. Oh no, that's Wreath and Comac that show up in.
I was just thinking. I
Test
think
of
I was thinking the
Courage.
exact same thing. Yeah.
That's Wreath and Comac that show up in Test of Courage.
I want to know what he's doing at the moment. Is he getting therapy?
Oh,
God,
you
I hope
need
so.
to. You need to. And those are questions that we're going to ask during our High Republic extravaganza / support group. Because make sure you bring your tissues for that one, folks. Because that one's going to be. Oh, yeah. We're going to shed some tears there. Bell would be interesting. I think that this would also be another opportunity to bring Porter Ingle into this and really explore his character as well. I believe he would be good. Buryaga is another one that you could go with as well, but I think he's better off suited for the children's books. And this isn't a
Yeah.
knock against the children's books. I just feel he's better off suited for that because they can say, "Oh, look, it's another Wookiee like Chewbacca. This one uses the
Yeah, he's
Force. He saves
definitely
people."
popular to kids.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he should be, especially after Light of the Jedi.
He's so empathetic and furry and just, I
Yes.
love furry.
When that kid gave him a hug.
I know.
That broke me in that book. I was okay
Hmm.
until that moment. And when that kid gave him the hug, I I was done. Like tears were just rolling down my face. But
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is another opportunity to bring the crew of the Starhopper into another medium outside of the High Republic adventures. I mean, the characters are there to explore. And even after
Hmm.
Tempest Runner, we have some characters that we can explore, especially after Tempest Runner. But I don't know. Well, what are your thoughts on this manga? And then we'll get into Tempest Runner.
I think we might start seeing characters that we haven't seen before, like some of the other faces that have popped up in concept art that we don't
Yeah,
really know anything about yet. I think
Elzar.
maybe they've been saving them for this. Elzar with his lack of concept
Yes,
art.
yes,
Yeah. And then there's the Nikabi woman who's got a
yes.
black lightsaber.
Hmm.
So it's like an inside joke on a couple of the servers I'm on that that's actually Tarbisla, because
Oh,
Oh,
obviously we don't, because like, I mean, yeah, we've seen maybe a statue of him, but like, what if Tarbisla was actually a Nikabi woman?
yeah,
Because like the whole cover, because like obviously not not to trivialize the niqab and the relevance that it has towards Muslims, but the whole covering the face thing
yeah.
that Mandalorians have, and obviously apparently Beskar messes with your sense of the Force, so this could be like an alternative that they use.
That would be
mm,
really interesting to see because all we know is that Vizsla was from years ago. They never really say
yeah, they didn't
when
specify.
Vizsla was around. So we could get the Dark Saber here in the High Republic, and that would be huge when it comes to connecting everything overall. Because you could easily tell that story about how Vizsla tried to get into the Jedi Order using the Dark Saber. I might get this legend mix up because of Rebels and Clone Wars and all of that, but is kind of shunned from the Order and creates the Dark Saber. That would be interesting because we could, after a while, you're gonna have to shift from the Nile to other villains. I believe that the
Yeah.
Nihil will be in this thing for 3/4 of it, and then they're gonna shift focus somehow.
Yeah, I do think, because like, spoilers for the High Republic comics, but the fact that they are storing the Drengir on Starlight, I think something's gonna go wrong.
Yeah. That can't be good.
Claudia Gray. No,
I can't wait to see more from her. I love her
yeah.
so much.
Um, this is also another opportunity to bring Wreath and Comac into this as well, because Wreath and Comac, yeah, they have a lot of character development, especially in Out of the Shadows and Into the Dark, but
Mm.
Hmm.
this would be another way to explore their partnership together when it comes to. What are you doing? Oh, sorry, I got distracted. When it comes to the overall story, I would love to see Wreath interact with Lily and like learn about like the folklore of the planet that they're on. Like that would be interesting to see these two. Let's face it, Wreath is now a Jedi folklorist training under Comac.
Hmm.
To see them interact with Lily and to explore the legends and the folklore of this planet would be something very special and something really cool. So,
Yes to all of that, as long as they don't make him crush on Lily.
no, I
He's almost as bad as Elzar.
he kind of is. Uh,
He's just a little boy.
he
He's just
really
baby
is.
Elzar.
He is baby Elzar. You're exactly right.
Yep.
And he is a little
Elzar's
boy.
not a good influence on him.
Is Elzar a good enough influence on anybody?
No.
No.
No. Maybe he'll be a good influence for Ty. I think that might be the
Yeah,
only one.
yeah. He. I would love to see Ty Yorick in this as well.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like her,
Anything with more Ty Yorick, I would be happy for.
Yes.
like monster hunting with this group on this Jedi outpost. Like that would be insane, and I would love it. So let's
Yes,
move
please.
on to our main topic here. This is going to be Tempest Runner. We're gonna do spoiler free for a little bit, and then we're gonna gush about this. So, if you have not listened to Tempest Runner yet, this is Kevin Scott's brand new audio drama set in the High Republic. It focuses on Lorna D, but we get a lot of great characters in this. Especially hearing Skier is amazing. That's what I'm gonna say. So I want to get your overall thoughts here, spoiler free overall thoughts, and then we're going to dive into a spoiler free discussion and then we'll dive into the spoilers. So, um, Lil, take it away. Tempest Runner, how was it?
Um, it was so good. So I got it on Tuesday and just listened to the entire thing all in one go.
Yeah,
And like, because like normally with audiobooks I like speed them up and stuff, but this like I had to listen to it at the original speed
yeah,
because like it just
Yeah.
made the drama that much better. Um, but obviously like on my re re-listens, I did listen to it in like 3 times speed.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Go ahead.
that it was very funny to listen to Pan Eater in 3 times speed. Anyway,
Sure.
it's like I loved it for the world building because like
Hmm.
okay, so when we say spoiler free, I'm
Hmm.
gonna it's like if it's mentioned in the synopsis, then
Yeah.
um yeah.
Go ahead with that.
So
That's fine.
obviously we know that Lorna is in a Republic prison and we get to see that part of the world building there. And obviously, because we've seen the prison in the Clone Wars,
Mhm.
we can now compare the two methods of um, methods of what's the word?
Rehabilitation.
Yeah, incarceration,
Yeah.
and like how they approach it. Because I'm pretty sure White Boba Fett wasn't getting therapy.
No. No, he
Counselor Wittick
wasn't.
would have helped him with that, I believe. So, Lavender, go ahead.
So yeah, same thing. I downloaded it on Tuesday. Honestly, I like totally forgot it was coming out, and then I was like, oh, High Republic content. I need this in my life. Um, so I did pretty much the same thing. I listened to it in two settings because I was shelving books and listening. Because when you work at a library, you might as well read while you're doing something else. Uh,
Obviously.
uh, but oh my gosh, like just the whole premise for like the little in and outs and the time travel and getting to learn more about how the Nile operate and everything. I was just like hooked from the first little exchange at the beginning. I was like, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, this this audio drama, like Dooku Jedi Lost before it, and like Dr. Aphra, really, this is the way Star Wars needs to go for a while, I believe. It's worked for Doctor Who, and
Mhm.
it's working for Star Wars. And Kevin Scott is no stranger to audio dramas because he's written tons of Doctor Who audio dramas, and they've all been fantastic. Kevin Scott's one of my favorite writers when it comes to Doctor Who. I will plug Big Finish until my dying breath when it comes to audio dramas because they're amazing. This audio drama is fantastic. Like you said, Lil, the world building alone is incredible. And I've always felt that Starlight Beacon Station is kind of a character in and of itself. It's almost taken on a character persona. For them to
Yeah.
start this thing off on Starlight Beacon Station is just awesome because, yeah, we've seen it here and there in the comic. I mean, it focuses more on the Starlight Jedi in the comics, but like we've never really explored Starlight the start of this until the start of this drama. So
Yeah.
I will say that the Republic incarceration system is really interesting, especially with the prison ship that they're on. In this I want to call it an audiobook, but it's a drama, and I have to keep stopping myself. The supporting cast in this is amazing. Uh, Pan
A plus.
Ada is, I don't know how I feel about him because I was actually rooting for him in the Rising Storm, and now I'm kind of
I think we're
like,
all rooting for him then.
yeah, and then I was kind of wish he died, like kind of.
Maybe now we need to see things from his perspective.
I would love to see that, like him try to take over from his perspective would be.
Like an audio drama from the point of view of each of the Tempest Runners, and then one from the eye. That'd be
Yes.
The the
good.
Tempest Runner Chronicles or something.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um
And like, okay, no hate to the movies, but like I feel like Star Wars just works better when it's either a TV show, a book, or a comic, or
mhm.
an audio drama. It's like
Hmm.
just because it's such like a vast, because like A New Hope was great.
Mhm.
Um, it's great on its own, but like as we're world building, it's it's just better not to do movies.
Yeah. I I actually agree with that. Um
Hmm.
I've said before Star Wars works much better as a long form story. Not saying
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
the
definitely.
9 movies aren't a long form story, but when it comes to Star Wars itself, why was the Bad Batch so successful? Well, not only because of Clone Wars, but because it was a long form story and we had time to
Hmm.
start to build these characters.
Yeah. Also, because it comes out weekly,
Hmm.
you get more discussion about it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
to compare two completely different things, so we're comparing um, Shadow and Bone and any of and One Division. They came out around the
Hmm.
same time, but One Division came out weekly, and you got all
Yep.
the theories. And the thing is that people that wouldn't have watched on the first week, but maybe they saw like a video that someone posted on like the fifth week of One Division, they would have like that convinced them to
Hmm.
watch because they just seen it around so much.
Yeah.
Shadow and Bone, hype last a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I binged that in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Whereas WandaVision, I was like on the edge of my seat the whole time waiting for the next episode.
Yeah.
Like watching videos in between, like Mephisto.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for
And
our WandaVision podcast afterwards. No, just kidding.
yeah, and obviously like with the Bad Batch, I I would have stopped, but I kept watching because I was listening to a podcast about it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
there's like that discussion and that like,
yeah.
the discourse around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've all seen the RuPaul's Race Twitter account, right?
Oh yes.
I've
Oh
seen some of it. Yes.
yeah.
Um.
I cannot look at that without just cracking up.
Zach in chat says Bad Batch was super well done. It was. It was.
It
Uh,
was.
but going back to what we were saying here, Star Wars definitely works as a long form story. And what they've done with Tempest Runner is they've they've pretty much done a long form story within 6 hours because
Hmm.
each chapter does feel like its own individual episode, which is great when it comes to audio dramas because I feel like that is the way that you should do it. Break it up a little bit in between. That's what Neil Gaiman did with the
Yeah.
Sandman thing for Audible as
Hmm.
well. Now, you know what? Let's just dive into the spoilers here. Lorna D is captured by the Republic, but she changes her name to Sal. The only person that knows who
Yep.
she is her annoying sidekick Tasia. That may or may not be working with Canada that we know of.
Yeah.
And we're also introduced to more Jedi. Well, we're actually given a formal introduction, an audio formal introduction to Keeve and Skier. I mean, well, Skier's in Light of the Jedi, and he's in
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
but we get to hear his voice.
yeah. We get to hear his voice, and
Hmm.
that is fantastic, and it's everything that I've wanted with Skier. We get to hear Avar Chris's voice as well. We've never heard her before,
She's
outside
a
of
lot more like well, she should sound official, but like she was just so serious, and I'm like, is that the
Jeez.
voice she puts on now that she's Marshall, or is that just like how she always is? Like she sounded very uptight.
Yeah, because when we saw her in the adventures, she was like laughing along and stuff. It was like,
Yeah.
Right?
is she
Yeah.
just being serious there?
I
She put on her captain hat.
yeah, I think the only time she really lets down her guard is when she's around like really familiar people because
Eltar.
yeah,
All the
yeah,
kids.
Elzar. Yeah, because like when Keeve meets her, like Keeve cusses up a storm and
Oh, I know, I love that.
and Avar's just like, it's okay. It's fine. You know, but like any other
He's like,
time,
oh, Criff, am I gonna like get demoted now?
yes. And Skier is just like telling her not to fangirl, and she's just fangirling. Um,
Loved it.
I feel like let's talk about Skier and Keeve because they explore their relationship a little bit in this as well. Skier still is not doing well,
Mm-mm.
even
Hmm.
after the whole thing with the Drengir and with the hive mind and everything. He is not doing well, especially with Orla's death, because he's still grieving that. Keeve feels like the more mature one in this relationship
Mhm.
because when you first meet them, it's post Jorah's death, and Skier's kind of the mature one because Keeve's the one doing her Jedi trials. It's interesting to see that Keeve has kind of become the master, and Skier's kind of become the Padawan now.
Yeah, she's got to kind of reel him in
Yeah.
from, pushing himself too hard in this one, which I thought was a good contrast to how they were
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. And
Um.
like the way that they were joking, because like I posed I posed the parallel that
Mhm.
Vern and Skier both really bad at driving. And someone pointed out it's because he's only got one arm. But the way that Keeve made the joke made it seem like she's always thought he was bad at driving.
Yeah.
She's just
Hmm.
never said anything until now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now
Um.
she's like, oh, it's okay.
Be-
He's not the teacher anymore. I can criticize him.
yeah.
Yeah, she's
Exactly.
graduated. She can make fun of that teacher.
Yeah. Because he sees her as his equal now.
Hmm.
We
Yeah.
see going to Skier here and Keeve reeling him in. He's very aggressive in the first 30 minutes of this audio drama. He's
Yeah.
using the force to slam people against walls and knock them out and try to cut off limbs and everything. Like he's going full
Yeah.
throttle, and Keeve just keeps saying, "The force will be with us. The force will be with us." And I'm thinking, Keeve, you got to do something more than just constantly say, "Trust in the force,
Yeah.
and the force will be with us," because Skier is so bound by revenge over the death of Jorah, and I think that that's such an impactful moment, especially when it comes to further seeing Lorna D's adventure, because him slamming these people against the walls is how we get Lorna D captured by the Republic in the first place.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and Skier is just he's the catalyst for this journey in a way. And Avar's trying to reel him in, but she can't like Keeve can. It's similar to how Omega is like, let's go back to the Bad Batch real quick. Omega was kind of the anchor for the Bad Batch, especially like
Hmm.
when Wrecker turned and Wrecker is so emotionally distraught after doing
And
that, after getting his chip removed, and Omega forgives him. she's kind of the anchor here. Kiev is essentially the anchor for this group of Jedi as they're going in to capture Lorna D.
Yeah. Which I mean is saying something because we've seen her not be super
Yes.
stable herself.
Yeah.
So it's like she's stepping up and being the one in charge when she needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is that necessarily what everybody needs?
Yeah. Lil,
Because
go
like
ahead.
we see her character development throughout the High Republic comic because
Yeah.
like being the main character there.
Yeah. Um. So Lorna D's captured,
Oh, did
and
we just lose Lil? She froze.
Lil, you there? We might have lost her real quick.
She's in carbonite.
She's frozen in carbonite. Lil, if you have to back out, just back out and join us again. Um, like I want to move on, but I don't want to move on without her. So we'll give it a couple of minutes here. Um,
Ah, the world of technical difficulties.
yeah, welcome to the live show, right?
Yep. I
So
like to think that over the last year we all got better at dealing with these things, but like stuff's still
yeah,
gonna happen.
let me see here. No. Okay, it's loading. I mean,
I'm
there she
back.
is. All right. Sorry about that. Or it might have been on your end. Oh, you had a call.
No, Wi-Fi hot cut out.
Oh, Wi-Fi.
Oh no.
That's always fun. Um, so yes, going back to Keeve's maturity here, we know
Yeah,
that this is set 3 months after the Rising Storm. So Keeve has matured over a year and 3 months, I guess we could say
Hmm.
now.
yeah. Um, Also like the way that um Andric, when he described like how he was being rescued by
Yeah.
Skir, he was like, "Oh, I'm terrified of him," but
Hmm.
like, because like he was also like, "Oh, it's
Trandoshan.
it's because he's a Trandoshan,"
Yeah.
but like obviously there we have like because like you don't really see much of the xenophobia in the High Republic, but obviously in the Nile they've got a bit of because I guess like with more inequality, there's more room for stereotyping, I guess.
Yeah.
Unsure.
No, I would call it that because we don't really see outside of Marky and Rose species, outside of Lorna D being a Twi'lek and a few others being Twi'leks. There was Bub the Gungan as well. Um,
Yeah.
we've mostly gotten just human characters as part of the Nile, outside of
Yeah.
just a few species. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Because
there,
human or
there's
like mostly humanoid because like if there Casa was a weak way.
yeah,
I think there's been quite a few other weak way as well.
and whatever Zeta, I think Zeta is the same species as Grease from Fallen Order.
I don't think they're quite the same, but they look really
They
like
do.
kind of in that same like wheelhouse.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I forgot.
Like with the Republic and like the Unity thing,
yeah,
there's not much reasons for like division
no,
and blame and stuff that has created in our society, but obviously, but within the Nile, like there's more factions,
yeah,
more division, more competition, more room for people to start going, oh, they're part of that group, therefore they must be.
yeah, and
There's
it's
another fantasy world building element, and I'm going to stop talking now because you were talking.
no, no, you're fine, and I keep interrupting you too, and I apologize for that. Um, yeah, it's interesting to see the Nile and the way these different Tempest runners or these tempests um act because what you got there?
This Zetar is a Talpini.
Oh, similar to our boy from Rogue One.
The guy from Rogue One, yeah, but he
Yeah,
wears like a power suit because
that's
they just
right.
showed that in I think the most recent comic.
And it was
Yeah.
Um,
in Rising Storm also.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because his voice was near the end of Tempest Runner, and I was just like, I hate his voice.
Oh yeah, same.
There's okay. I will say this. I love this audio drama, but there are some voices in this audio drama because it's hard to understand Panita at times. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just calling it. If we ever see live action High Republic, Ron Perlman is Pan Ada. Like, hands down, that's the perfect voice.
yes. I We're going to talk about that in our High Republic extravaganza because there's a lot of theories that I have about
Are we gonna do fan
the
casting?
Oh, absolutely. But for now, Tempest Runner. Um,
Yes.
but like even then, like Markian Rowe is in this for a little bit, and I'm sorry, as much as I love Mark Thompson, Markian Rowe sounds so bored.
He
Yes.
does.
It's a really good way to describe it.
He sounds like he doesn't want to be there at all.
He sounds like the Draco Malfoy of the High Republic audio cast, where he's kind of just like, I'm here, I'm drawing away.
I would
And I
even,
do, I love the voice acting, but
yeah,
that's what I get from it.
I would even say Draco Malfoy had more of a personality than Markian Rowe. Uh, and I hate to say that because I love Markian Rowe as a villain,
Ew.
but I can't unhear that voice.
I love that we got Asgaro finally
Yes,
in these flashbacks.
Asgar Rowe was fantastic. Uh, let's talk about these flashbacks because these flashbacks are very important to Lorna D's development, as well
Yeah.
as I would say the development of the Nihil in general, or the Nihil in general. I
And the
want
world building.
and the world
Like
building.
Hmm.
Yes.
like when she was in the military,
Hmm.
like we obviously get to see that, and then we realize, oh, one of the guys she was with.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
Go
like all
ahead.
those little connecting bits between their uh like the different flashbacks kind of like carried forward with her.
Yeah.
Like the one guy from the academy, you see him later on.
Yeah.
And then of course the academy we see mentions of that in Out of the Shadows with the Yarrow family.
That and then
Surprised we didn't see her.
Kurita is also the Imperial Flight Academy as well, and they
Oh
talk about
yeah.
that in Solo.
Hmm.
So it's so did the Empire just take over that Republic flight facility? And
I
that's
think
what
that's
I'm
what
thinking.
happened.
Yeah.
Well, the Empire is the Republic,
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah.
just with a different government structure.
Yeah, I like the Republic better, especially during this one.
Yes.
But
Yeah, but like
yeah,
as an entity, they are.
yeah,
It's changed, but it is still the same
mhm,
entity,
yeah.
just changed.
No, it is, it is. But when it comes to these flashbacks, especially Lorna D's military flashbacks, are really interesting
Mm.
because that's how we see her become the leader that she is going to be within the Nile. Um, Also, when she's sold to Zygerian slavers is really interesting too because
Yeah.
that's a Clone Wars throwback
Hmm.
as well as a Bad Batch throwback. And it was interesting to see her try to survive that and how she's manipulated by the love of somebody and she's used as a pawn. She's
Hmm.
she practically murders her entire family without really knowing it.
Yeah.
Um
That
z-
whole Aloth, like just
yeah.
that extra bit of world building to the Twi'lek species, seeing them off of Ryloth, but not in a position where they were, had been in like slavery or anything
Yeah.
like that. Like, because in the original trilogy, that's really all we see of Twi'leks.
Yeah.
Um, so I thought that was really cool to see fleshed out. and the whole concept of her, like, she wants to turn to doing something bad with mining spice, but it's like, hey, our people are suffering and we're doing okay, so like, let's
Yeah.
just do something that makes everybody okay.
So
Yeah. But the thing about spice, it's kind of like an allegory for methamphetamines
yes.
or
Yeah.
amphetamines in our world, because like the thing is, you can use those in medicine, you can
Hmm.
use them as sedatives, you can use them as painkillers,
Hmm.
but obviously if you have like certain ones, it's like you just change like two bonds, and suddenly it's not as safe. Like it's still not
Yeah.
safe in the first place. You've got
Yeah.
to have a medical professional administer them, but like obviously like the way that they can do both harm and good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I want to go to actually chat here because Zach in chat asks you a question, and this kind of actually goes to what we're talking about with the Zygerian slavers. He says this is completely random and might be off a topic, but in this timeline, do they mention any types of crime syndicates like gangs behind the scenes? They mention pirates. We get the
Hmm.
Zygerian slavers, but we aren't really introduced to any like gangs outside of the huts.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the
Yeah.
Huts is really the only one so far.
Is
You're
it like
kind of seeing like the beginnings of the Hut cartel.
Yeah,
we haven't seen the full extent of the criminal underworld
yeah,
like I think we're going to in like the main Star Wars things at the moment. I think
yeah,
what the Bad Batch did was instead of them setting up to go join the Republic, they're going to be joining the criminal underworld. We're going to see a lot
yeah,
more of that from them.
yeah.
But one thing that I did notice was Enfys Nest. Her mask in Solo looks so much like Lorna Dee's,
Hmm.
and
It
obviously they're
does.
called the Cloud Riders. And I'm thinking
There's got
the
to be a
Nile,
tie-in.
they're still going to be around, but they're obviously not going to be as powerful, just like a really small faction. So we're just going to see them slowly decline as other crime syndicates rise.
I would absolutely love that because in Tempest Runner, after Lorna is pretty much betrayed by Marky and Roe in the beginning of this thing, and is captured by Panetta, and all that fun stuff ensues there. I would love to see if Lorna D founded the Cloud Riders. I think that that would be incredible.
Yeah.
And like she she kind of does it as like a Robin Hood type thing, like version of the Nihil, where or the Nile or however you pronounce it, it's like all over the place with that name. But to see a Robin Hood version of the Nile like taking from these people and giving back as the Cloud Riders, I'd be hands down. I would sign on to that in a heartbeat. Eh,
Especially like now that we've seen that bit of her with wanting to help her people. Like we
Yep.
know that part of her exists or
Yes.
has existed at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like we definitely see some character development
Hmm.
from her throughout this.
And I could see why Emphas Nest could be influenced by her, especially after everything that goes down in this audio drama.
Because
Hmm.
like even if it's not like the last of, she could have just like still read about them and heard
Hmm.
about them. And I seem to remember, I only saw a screenshot of this because I still like only halfway through like Darth Vader
Hmm.
comics, but Aphra comes across a path engine at some point.
Yep.
So like they still exist, but obviously you can't get around on them anymore. Because like, I want to know why no one uses them anymore. It's like, is it because they lose the ability because they don't have the paths anymore? They like outlaw um using people like that to navigate. But obviously like it's one of those laws that no one really follows by the time of the Empire, because obviously um in Thrawn, which I still haven't read, but I know there's plot point, they use Anakin Skywalker to drive a thingy
Yeah. So
Star
in
Destroyer.
yes, so in Thrawn, there are Force users that navigate hyperspace in the Chiss Ascendancy, and they're called Skywalkers. So that's why Thrawn was like, "Hey, you're a Skywalker. Fly the Star Destroyer." So yeah, I think that it would be interesting. Is Lady Santeca the first Skywalker?
And will
Because
Vernestra Rowe be the next?
Vernestra Rowe,
Yeah.
absolutely, and maybe that's where, because you have to admit the Chiss Ascendancy is probably around at this point.
Yeah, but
I
the
feel like
thing
there's
is, there
going to
might
be
not be the ascendancy yet. They might come together
Yeah,
because like we've all seen Mark, right? Like
Marky and Rowe.
we
Yeah,
definitely think he's a chess.
I think he's a Chiss. Absolutely.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And like the whole idea of no space and yeah.
it really goes back to what Timothy Zahn's doing with Thrawn,
Hmm.
and Marky and I mean, I would love it if Marky and Rowe was a Chiss, because he could be the one. I have a feeling Marky and Rowe will probably escape at the end of this whole story. Maybe he goes back and he finds the Skywalker program, but he brings Vernestra Rowe with him.
The
I
cat.
still want to think of a sad ending for
Oh my
Vernestra
god.
ever.
Because you've all seen the meme, right? From Mackenzie posted it. It's like that one fear is like the Nile capture Vern,
Yeah,
and then they use her instead.
yeah, because she's the one that can open up the paths, as we've seen
Hmm.
recently, especially with Out of the Shadows, which I thought that was so brilliant.
Oh, that book
Oh,
was so good.
yeah, um, I would love to see something like that, especially when it comes to this overall confrontation with the Nile and the Republic. They're going to have to sneak attack somehow.
Hmm.
So they might as well use Vernestra opening up those paths. But I think we got off topic, and that's okay because we're just having fun talking about this. Um, so when it comes to the Cloud Rider thing, like we were talking about, Twi'leks age a lot slower than humans do.
Mm.
Maybe Lorna D met Emphas Nest at a young age, and and Emphas was inspired by her to to take over the Cloud Riders. I mean, anything can be possible, which is why speculation's great, but hashtag speculate responsibly. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
but
be like me, starting the Omega as a Palpatine clone.
oh no, I was on that train too.
No, we've all seen that child. That child is not a identical clone of Jango Fett.
No,
I know.
I'm still kind of on board that she's a Palpatine just because
And
of her
somewhere in there.
mannerisms. Yeah. Uh,
Sidebar.
sidebar, quick sidebar. But yeah, um, Lorna. So let's talk about the main focus here, Lorna. And I'm sorry that we're all over the place. I should have written a script for this, but I just like the open discussion thing more. Um, Lorna is one of those characters that she goes through a lot in this book in a little bit of time. Her incarceration is really interesting because we start to see maybe she's not all that bad. Like this, her
Yeah.
incarceration shows she actually legitimately cares for people.
Hmm.
But it took her a while to get to that point because she uses somebody as a human shield when she's when, during her time with the Zygerians.
Yeah. It's like your environment influences your actions. Like there aren't any well, okay, so there are bad people, but there aren't
Yeah,
any truly inherently bad people. There are only people in terror there are only people that choose to do bad things.
yeah. Lorna's the perfect example of that because when we see her in those first few flashbacks, she's a good person. She's,
Hmm.
she cares about Ryloth. She cares about her family. She cares about helping people and actually cares about what the Republic thinks
Yeah.
when it comes to this. And it's not until she's betrayed for the first time that she starts to see the galaxy's not all black and white, that sometimes you
Hmm.
have to do things in order to get ahead. And then when it comes to her being on the Republic prison ship, which that's one of my favorite beats of this whole thing, because it goes back
Yeah.
to what Lil's been talking about with world building. We see Lorna kind of shifts to like good again, especially when it comes to her new friend and trying to protect her new
Hmm.
friend and everything. So I forgot what my question was going to be. Um, but let's talk about her journey through these flashbacks and through also her present day, because I mean, that's her present day. From beginning to end, she changes, but does she change as drastically as we thought she was going to?
Well,
I'd
she
say,
isn't.
oh,
Sorry.
I know you
Um,
go.
you go first because I have a tangent and a half.
That's fine.
I was just
That's
gonna
what we're
say, I
here
think
for.
that we see her like she only switched back so quickly, I think, because she realizes that the path that she was on wasn't actually about her.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, look, something's finally happening where it's about me. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, crap, I'm like getting played again. So,
Yeah.
like, I'm just going to go back to doing what I do.
Yeah, it's similar to how you root for Anakin Skywalker not to do the things that he does in Revenge of the Sith, but you know
You
he
watch it
has to
300
do.
times and it's going to end the same way every
Yeah,
single time.
but you know he has to carry out Order 66. You know he has to betray the Order in order to
Master
get.
Skywalker, what do we do?
I will tell you about that joke later. But go ahead, Lil. You said that you had a lot of thoughts. I would love to hear them.
Yeah. So okay. So have you watched The Good Place?
Yes.
Bits and pieces, but yeah.
Okay. So the message of The Good Place is that it is not that people aren't bad because like obviously at the start of The Good Place you had everyone being sent to the bad place because their um the good that they did while they were in the world was always negative now because the world had become more complicated and there hadn't been like anyone in 500 years that had gone to the good place because of this. It's like just inherently like it used to be um but and they basically proved to the bureaucracy that they encountered within the afterlife
Yeah.
that it is not about the life that they that given the chance people can be good.
Hmm.
People people want to be good well because well they can be and like given the chance to they will be, but obviously the stresses of life and like capitalism, root volleyball, um have made it so much harder to be a good person that it brings about apathy and it brings about all that kind of thing. So that relating it to Lorna D, you have she has she was like in a really good place in the world. She obviously like cared about other people and stuff. And it's like the reason that she wanted to mind spice was to help her people. And then obviously she was betrayed and like since then she had been fighting for her survival. So she didn't have the chance to help other people because she had to fight for her life.
Yeah.
And then so then we get to weirdly when she's in prison and then you've got people that are in her corner. They're saying we want to help you,
Hmm.
we want you to like figure out what is best for you. And then over the course of her time in prison, she does actually realize how much she relies on other people, but also how much she can be a good person.
Mhm.
And like obviously she's not atoning, because atoning isn't about, there's no way she's gonna meet him Bill anytime soon, but just
Got so much to make up for.
yeah, it's like she has a lot to make up for in the galaxy, but like just during that short period of time where she's not running for her life, she's not worrying about her next meal, she gets to be a good person. She
She,
gets to care about other people.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she seems almost content with the prison life because she's seeing the grass on the other side of the fence and how it
Mm-hmm.
is greener on the other side of the fence. Say she doesn't escape when they're on the one planet and she stays with the Republic prison ship. Would she be like working as a Skyhawk pilot, or would she be working with the Jedi like in these strike groups to take out the Nile, or
I don't think like we'd see like a complete shift change, but I
mhm,
think that like she would, because like she wants to live a life, right?
yeah,
She
Mm-hmm.
wants to protect the people that she loves.
yeah,
So if she was given the chance, I think that she would become a Republic citizen
yeah.
and then maybe do what she wants to do.
Mhm. Um, because now my question is, does she follow along with Silvestri and with Affy and Leox and all them and just do the shipping thing? Like, would that be Lorna D's ideal life? Because she's a Republic citizen. I mean, she would be a Republic citizen, like you said. She would be kind of helping people, but working for herself, just trying to live her life. Would that be her ideal life at that point?
I don't think she'd go into shipping just
Hmm.
like because like oh she might,
Yeah.
obviously, but like because like obviously bounty hunting is legal,
Yeah,
and
that's true.
she's good, like she'd be good at that
Oh, she
kind
would
of thing.
definitely be good at that.
Sidebar,
Yeah.
uh, Lorna D in Mandalorian armor.
That's
Where'd she get
yeah,
it?
Who knew
yeah.
that
I
was coming?
mean, yeah, we didn't even get to that point yet. We're still
Did they
like
like emit an X? Did she like charm a Mandalorian for it and then kill him?
That's
I
possible.
I want to okay, so
They did say it was dented up.
it was dented up. But
It
you know
was.
what? I'm going to go with headcanon here and I'm going to go with a theory just once again, we're speculating. Maybe she helped find Death Watch.
I
Bec-
like it.
I do.
because
Yeah.
because at this point the Mandalorian Civil War is probably going on.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Maybe she helped find Death Watch because we don't know how long it is between her leaving Karita and when we see her in this Mandalorian armor.
Right.
I mean, they kind of give a hint that it's been like a while, but like you don't really know how long it is. Why doesn't she just do, you know, she could fight on Mandalore for a while. They said that they don't necessarily have to be from Mandalore to be a Mandalorian.
Right.
So why
Hmm.
not?
Yeah,
And
they're
she,
a
I mean,
creed, not a species.
Yeah,
yeah. And her fighting was obviously up to par. Like everyone just assumed she was Mando.
exactly. I mean, she knew martial arts. She knew how to handle a blaster and all of the other stuff on her Beskar armor.
And I mean, the fighting style, we see her best skier, which again, skier is not at his prime.
No, he
Um,
isn't.
but
He's still a Trandoshan and a Jedi, though.
yeah. And then in Rising Storm, she was it Orbelin she fought?
Yeah, and she almost bested him, but then he bested
Yes.
her.
Yes.
And quick side note, I love that he's teaching her a lesson
Oh, I do
throughout
too.
that fight. I love that he's teaching her. It's great. Um,
Orbelin is underrated character of the year.
he is. But that goes
Oberlin's
back,
universe. We're
yeah,
just loving it.
but that goes back to her training. Maybe her formal training was on Mandalore. We have no idea. And I think that
Yeah.
that would be
No, her
amazing.
formal training was in
Oh, on Karita also. Yeah.
Garita.
Yeah.
But I mean, she could have, the way that we see her fight, I think, is more than you would receive in like a military school.
It's similar to how Bo-Katan and Sabine and all of them fight. Um,
It is. It's very brutal.
yeah. But I would love that. I think that that was. I don't want to say it's a missed opportunity, but that's for another audio drama.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think it could fit.
yeah. Um. So let's talk about some of the supporting cast here. We have Tasia, who I don't know how I feel about the character.
I was okay with her not making it.
Yeah, I was too. Um.
I
Yeah.
loved her
It's like,
accent though.
Yeah.
yeah, I felt bad that she died.
Hey, Arya.
Um, but like it felt like I did feel annoyance every time that she came up a
Yes.
as an obstacle
Hmm.
in like Lorna just like getting her head down and getting through it.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was just there to like be a thorn in her side the whole time.
she's also a
Yeah.
reminder of her of how she got there. Also,
Hmm.
I will also say this: I hated the way she said Sal. It was annoying. Sal. Um,
She had a very like Russian accent.
she did, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I thought the voice actor was fantastic. It was just the way she kept implying that Sal wasn't Lorna D's name and everything.
Hmm.
Um, but going to her, I was happy that she didn't make it. She feels like she, she almost feels like she's unnecessary to the story.
Yeah. But do things have to be necessary to the story in order to exist within it? Because obviously
No.
real life is more complex. Because like she's necessary to Lorna's character growth.
Yeah, she is necessary to Lorna's character growth, not necessarily to the
Yeah.
story. Um,
I will say, as far as serving the story, every time we see Lorna in a flashback, when she tells them a new name, she's Cadet Einan,
yeah.
she's Sal. When she's Sal, it's the only time that she has someone who knows who she really is.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where Tasia comes in to connect it to the story. She's like, oh, you're going to try to reinvent yourself, but like, you can't do that this time because someone knows your face and knows your name.
Yeah.
I also think that when she's Sal, that's when she's at her most vulnerable.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, that's when she opens up the most because it's her one-on-one with these people. She doesn't
Hmm.
have to try to impress an entire group. She's just trying to tell her story her way. So yes, Arya says she actually really liked Tasia's accent. I liked, okay, I liked the accent. I just did not
Yes.
like the way she said Sal. That's it.
Just
Um,
like the way it was drawn out to be like,
yeah,
is
Sal.
that your real name?
Yeah, and then she kept purring, which I thought was.
Yep.
I think they had a thing a long time
I would
ago.
not be surprised at
Yeah.
all.
Um, just because of there's a lot of tension there between them,
Hmm.
and it's kind of like a will they won't they type thing. and I might be reading too much into it, but that's just
I
how I
don't
felt.
think you are though, because I just remembered an exchange that happened on Twitter, where someone said, "Did Cav just make a top or bottom joke?"
Yes.
And he absolutely did when they get into their bunk, and she's
That's
like, "Top or
right.
bottom?" And she's like the bunks.
The per-
Oh, this just reminds me of an exchange I had because I was posting like a live reaction thread. It was like spoiler free or like out of context spoilers.
uh-huh.
And I just went, oh, when she said top or bottom, and I did the eyes, and my brother responded to it and said, I choose the middle. And I just said, I just said, I don't think you're her type.
Yeah. I don't think so either. Uh uh Arya in chat
Bless your
says
brother.
yes, bless your brother. Arya in chat says the purring was weird though. It was. The purring was a little weird. Um
That comes with the species, though, doesn't it?
no, it does. It does. Some Twi'leks do that. Um
She's not a Twi'lek. She has fur.
oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Because the
I didn't
way
think she was a Twi'lek until they
yeah,
mentioned that she had fur.
that's right. It was red. That's when they said she even has red fur to like cover up like whatever bloody mess they make. Um
Convenient.
yeah,
I like that was kind of like a Deadpool callback.
yeah. So that's why people can't see me bleed. Um I was just going to say I don't know. She's a great character though. She's an absolutely great character. Um she helps move that I wouldn't say she helps move that along. Um then we're on the prison ship. We're also introduced to Ola Hest and Counselor Whittick. And I have to say, out of these two characters, um, Ola Hest is interesting, but Counselor Whittick is the only one outside of the other friend that Lorna makes that really believes in Lorna.
Mhm. And I mean, he even
Yeah.
believes in her as Lorna, not just
Yeah,
as Sal,
yeah,
like once he knows.
yeah. And to like know all of that and still just be like, there's good in you, and still
Hmm.
like trying to pull that out of her is just really interesting because he you could kind of tell like he was thinking, well, now I've got a gang of my own because I've got somebody that's going to support me with taking down Hest over there. Because I
Yeah.
feel like while Whittick did believe in her, he also sees Lorna as an end to Hest, like getting
Yeah.
rid of Ola Hest. You can't decide if I love or hate Whittick. I, I liked him. I actually really like the guy because he's out there just trying to he's he's trying to do his thing. You know?
Yeah. And
It
then
made me
like
think of
you've got
that like teacher.
Yeah.
really weird romance tropes that they were throwing in, but
Yeah.
at the same time he was going, why would you think we were doing that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's so noble in his cause to like show Lorna how good she can be that people take that as favoritism in romance. No,
Hmm.
he sees Lorna as, let's face it, a passion project.
Yeah. Well,
He's go ahead.
I think rehabilitating anyone would have been a passion project for him.
Yeah.
It just so happened that he finally saw someone that he like there was promise with them.
Yeah.
And he realized like, oh, like this is my last shot to do this, and like I think I can.
Yeah.
So
Go
he's that
ahead.
teacher that's about to retire that like wants to push you to get into the school that you want to get into.
Yeah. Yeah. Lil, go ahead.
Um, I wasn't gonna say anything. I
Oh.
just okay. Um, he's like because like it seems very shippy because like
Yeah.
any fan fiction that you've read and was read is like the way that they are set up, they will be perfect, like narratively perfect for like a romance. But they didn't do that, and I'm
Yeah.
so happy with that
Oh,
that
that's
they
true.
just
Yeah.
push like this is a friendship. This is people just seeing the good in one another. It doesn't
Hmm.
have to be romance, and
Yeah.
I like that.
Arya says real quick, I like him as a character, but I'm a Jedi simp, so I was kind of mad that he didn't turn her in. Yeah, I
Oh,
think we're in the same boat here. Um, it's similar to if you've ever seen The Fugitive, how Harrison Ford escapes from Tommy Lee
yeah.
Jones. It's similar to that type of situation with Whittick. Um,
Or like what's his face from The Mandalorian? Like, oh, he
uh,
dies in the
oh,
session. Bill
Maynard,
Burr. Like,
or yeah,
yes.
yeah, or Mayfeld. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but going back to what you were saying, Lil, about the ship, it's also similar to Rogue One with Cassian and Jin, how
Yeah,
they kind of show it, but they just show them as I read it as they were more brother sister type because that brought them
yeah.
together.
Was it the thing is the point of Rogue One was showing how revolutions are
Yeah.
built on the bodies of the marginalized,
Hmm.
Hmm.
um, and like it would it it's like it would have been kind of okay. I don't think that a romance in Rogue One would have made it any better
No,
because like the point
It would have
was
just
that
made it sadder.
they just didn't want to die alone.
it would have.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
like they were strangers, they just didn't want to die alone. Because like a romance would have made it sadder. It just made it a bit more. Oh, they're kissing, like they barely know each other, kind of thing.
They've known
It's
Yeah.
each
like
other
that.
for a week and a half.
Yeah, that would have just like made it a little bit bittersweet. It's like, why are you doing that kind of thing?
Yeah.
This was just two like strangers who wanted to know, wanted to, yeah,
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
Arya's saying in chat, we all know I love Avar Chris too. We all know I love Avar Chris too much. So literally anything that makes her job more difficult, I'm upset about. Lil knows.
I do.
Um, so
Yeah, but now we can have Ava Chris, The Hunt for Lorna D.
my
Yes, we
God, I would
can.
read that Marvel series in a heartbeat, or listen to that audio drama in a heartbeat.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and you know what? Just make those two the only characters. Like, don't even throw any other characters into it. Just have it as like a cat and mouse type thing throughout the galaxy. I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sign me up.
Yes.
You
Um.
know who I did think would have made a good like romance?
Hmm.
Sestran.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
That.
like I see why she didn't go with them in the end because like she wants to see
Hmm.
her kids. She wants to get
Yep.
like her life back on track. Like she wouldn't throw it all away for someone she's known for like a couple of months. But like I see it. Like
Yeah.
they could like yeah.
It
I.
was the scene right before Pan Ada attacks, and she's talking to Quinn, and
Yeah.
she's like talking about like the Nile, like where, like she was one of the top three. So like, does that mean that she was one of the people who planned the attack on Valo? Like, did she do all of these terrible things? Because like, she doesn't seem like that terrible of a person. Is kind of what you're getting from Seston. Is like she doesn't believe that Lorna could have been behind any of that.
Yeah.
Um, like she just kind of like sees the good stuff in her still.
You s-
Yeah.
Star Wars
Because
and
like
redemption arcs.
Yeah.
we also see from because like we also see this in Into the Dark with Nan.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
like this is the same person. The
Yeah.
like the shy little girl that was just going, oh, so what are the Jedi doing? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's still the same
I.
person.
I honestly, I don't think Lorna would do the attack on Valo. I really don't think she would, because I think
It was
that
Mark's baby.
it really
Mhm.
was. Um,
Yeah.
it was Mark's baby, but it was Pan Etta's to fail, as like the attack
Yes.
on the Cyclor shipyards. Um, I just don't think Lorna would do it, Just like I don't think Lorna would attack Starlight. I don't think she
Right.
could do it because I think there's too much conflict there with her.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Lorna's only in the Nile because she wants to survive.
Yeah,
She's
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like it's the first time that she's been able to pick her own path. Because like when we see her go to the academy, like she's literally like brought there by Oprah and Sissies.
which
she
I
just
think
goes,
is
right, have
great.
fun.
It is really great. So like here's a Jedi dropping her off at the doorstep of this academy, and he's like, "What's your name?" She's like, "Guess I'll pick one."
Similar to
And
how Harry Potter's just like thrown in to everything.
right? Yeah. Yeah, like she never really, I mean, I guess then and when we see her after she leaves the academy, that's kind of the first chance she's got. But again, she's like fighting for, to get by. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, the Nile kind of gave her that opportunity to come into herself and be the person that she wants to be and to claim her own identity for the first time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Arya is saying she loved Sestin. I actually really did love how she went back for her kids. Yeah, I
I did
think,
too.
yeah. And then Arya is also saying, yeah, I feel like she doesn't have the revenge aspect that Markian has in regards to the Jedi. Yeah, she sees the Nile as just a way to live. That's it.
Hmm.
It's just a way of
Yeah.
life for her. She's willing to kill who she needs to kill, but she wouldn't attack a Republic fair like that. She just would not do that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, like if she ran into like the likes of Ty Yorick or Ram Jamaram, she'd be done. I mean, she would be totally done. I mean,
And a ram would probably be like shaking in his britches, though.
yeah, but
yeah.
like, it,
It's like if she had to work with a Jedi to survive, I think she would. But like
Hmm.
if she didn't have to, she would just go.
yeah. Arya also makes a good point in chat. She just made it. I think if she was the Eye, she wouldn't straight up attack the Republic. I totally agree with that. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she would do raids on Outer Rim settlements, but she would not go anywhere near the core worlds.
No.
She
Yeah.
just wouldn't do it.
I think she would do because I don't think she's on like the calculating level that Palpatine is, but I do think that she's got like she'd do the long game. She'd do like the soft power,
Yeah.
the diversion towards like giving the Nile legitimacy.
Hmm.
I think she would do that and then go to either Wild Space or the Unknown Regions and just hang out there
Yeah.
and
Do
just
her
Yeah.
thing.
yeah, and just be like, "Hey, this is our territory. We don't go near you guys, you don't go near us, and we'll be fine."
Mhm.
Because I think that if there was like a unifying threat like the Drengir, let's say like the Drengir was more out of control than what we've seen, and the Nile were all in their own section of space and the Republic was in their own section of space, I think that they would work together to eliminate the Drengir threat, especially if it came into Nile space. Like I
Right.
believe Lorna D would reach out to Chancellor So, and Chancellor So would reach out to Lorna D to talk to them, to talk to each other about how to coordinate against that threat. Like I
Kind
feel,
of like the Chiss and the Republic working together to beat back the Yuuzhan Vong.
yeah, yeah, I feel that she would, and it goes to Arya. Arya, you're making great points in chat right now. Um, yeah, she's definitely about survival. This is about the
Hmm.
survival of the Nile, so she's going to do what it takes to do that. And this is like alternate what if headcanon here. I've been watching a lot of what if lately. Um,
Yeah.
but like this is just one of those things where in alternate reality headcanon, I can see her like leading the Nile, working with the Republic to ultimately defeat the Drengir, and then just
Hmm.
having both sides go their separate ways and have a truce, and just like live like with this truce, similar to like how the Federation and the Romulans had in Star Trek with the neutral zone and everything. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, with the fighting against the Drengir, because like with the Hut, they like for a moment there it seemed like they were gonna form like a permanent alliance,
Yeah.
like the alliance that they had in the Clone Wars.
Hmm.
But instead, what we got was Ava did in fact betray what the Hutts wanted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but like I think if the Drengir were more out of control, then the Nile would bargain for legitimacy.
Yeah. Um, Arya also makes another good point here where she says, part of me is wondering if seeding the Drengir was Lorna's idea, though, because she is very sneaky. I,
That's a possibility.
that is, because, and I know like this doesn't deal with Tempest Runner, but it kind of does because we're 3 months out from Valo. So like
Mm-hmm.
we're 3 months post Valo. We should have more of an idea of like who planted the Drengir seeds on Valo to take down Crash Point Tower. Like
Yeah.
because they never really say who did it. They just said it's the Nile that did it.
No. And
Uh,
I'm rereading Crash Point Tower right now, and I was kind of looking for that to see if they if I missed a mention of which Tempest it was.
mhm.
But there was not. It was just generic Nile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I
But
wonder
it
if
might have
that's again
been
the kids' book
Zeta's
kind of
Tempest.
simplifying.
yeah. What were you saying, Lil?
It might have also been someone from Zeta's Tempest.
It could be, or it could be somebody from Pan's Tempest too. Um, I don't know. Pan's like
I don't see
too
Pan's Tempest
blatant.
doing it.
Like
Yeah.
Pan, because if you look at the attack on Valo, that is straight up Pan's way of doing it. Like just go
Hmm.
in, just guns blazing, and take out
Yeah.
whoever you can take out. Which is the start of Pan's downfall. Um, I feel like maybe that's going to be expanded on in High Republic Adventures, but as of right now, we don't know. Yeah, yeah, that's true. I think they'll expand more on the Valo attack in both comics because
Hmm.
Yeah.
where are we now? I'm a few issues behind on both. Are we post
So,
Valo now in the comics?
um, in Adventures 8, we start off with um Ram, Zine, and Lula meeting up with Quart and Farzala,
Okay.
and they're like, "Oh, this is Ram. We just met him."
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
And then
Adventures is
obviously
post Fallow.
we go to Takodana where the Nile are attacking.
Yeah.
And then obviously at the end of Out of the Shadows, um, Jordana and Silvestri are going to Takodana. So now we're like, what happened when they got there?
Yeah.
Hmm. I
So
wonder if this is going to be another Into the Dark and High Republic Adventures crossover where we get the Vethel crew, except this time they get Silvestri and
and Jordana.
Jordana. I keep
Yeah.
wanting to call her Jana. Jordana, but with the Starhopper crew.
I okay, so this makes me think now because we're on Tokodana now with the High Republic Adventures. And
Hmm.
this is a quick side note. Is Maz Kanata's castle the old Jedi outpost?
No, because
It is not.
there's two buildings on that lake. One
Oh,
side is I've forgotten his name, but like there's the one Jedi on the outpost, and then the
okay.
other side is the castle.
Oh, okay.
I
So
just read the comic earlier today and I can't remember the name. It was the person with the cool hat though.
the Embo guy. Um, I'd love that crossover. Comics Remy. Yeah, I would love to see Remy in the comics too. I think that would be amazing, Arya.
Ah,
Uh,
yes. I need to know what Remy looks like exactly. I want Elzar Man concept art and I want Remy concept art.
welcome to the Elzar
Cat.
Man Concept Art Podcast.
The
This
more
is
we talk about it, maybe they'll listen.
maybe.
What if they just forgot to draw them?
I hope
Yeah,
not.
but the early Stellan concept art does actually look like Elsa. So
That's true.
the
Um,
fear that I have is that there isn't actually any Elsa Man concept art.
all we get is the one Target exclusive cover of him. That's all
Mhm.
we get.
Well, he's on the Light of the Jedi cover as well.
That's right. He is on the Light of the Jedi
Yeah.
cover, so we get him on 2 covers. Oh,
So
don't
we
even get
know
me
what he
started
looks
on
like.
Elzar concept
Maybe
art.
we'll see him in Edge of Balance.
I would love if Elzar's in Edge of Balance. Um,
Oh, same. What is?
yeah.
I'm just looking up the name of that Jedi from
I
HRA.
I believe Arya said it. Sav Maligan.
Yes,
Yeah, because
that's
he was
yeah.
making the Spanish hot chocolate,
Mm-hmm.
which I can't pronounce the name of because I can't remember how it's spelled.
Um,
Just looking to see if they have the map on here.
so we're gonna start wrapping things up here in just a few minutes because I know it's very late for you, Lil.
Um, it's almost 3 a.m.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I just want to just say once again thank you for being here. So as we didn't even get to like a lot of the things that happened here, and I'm sorry. I just know that it's late for some people. Well, for me, kind of as well. Anyway, um, with Tempest Runner here, we have another way to tell more High Republic audio drama stories.
Mm-hmm.
What are some other audio dramas you'd like to see set in the High Republic?
Mission reports.
Mission reports?
Yeah. And this is like a really niche thing for me, but like I liked that Andric didn't have like the typical southern accent. Like he had a Brummy accent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was listening to it, I was like, are people going to be able to understand what he's saying? Because like I can understand because like my dad's a Brummy, but I was like, can you guys understand
Yeah.
Yeah,
him?
yeah, I have no problem
Yeah.
with it.
Okay. Cool. Because like just a wider range of accents, so you don't just have Queen's English, maybe Cockney,
Yeah.
and Edinburgh Scottish.
He
Yeah.
his accent was actually really well done. And I have to give all the credit to the voice actor for that because that was just it was beautiful. And I immediately fell in love with his character like the moment he started talking.
Oh yeah. It like I think that was what hooked me. Like I knew that was Canada's voice as well, but I was like, oh, I want to hear what he has to say. Tell me this story.
Yeah. Andric was really really good. What other dramas would you like to see?
I would love to see some Comac and Wreath adventures. I'd love more
Yes.
mythology and folklore. I think that we can't get enough of that in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Our
we just like have a load of mission reports
yeah.
from them, and
Yeah.
but like they're recorded,
Kind
like
of
the
like the
in
Calrissian
Star Trek.
Chronicles.
In Star Trek when they do the captain's log,
Yeah. Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
That'd be
Um,
good.
Arya wants to answer too, and yes, you can, because she wants Avar, Elzar, and Stellan as Padawans. But I'd also love to see the High Republic adventure Padawans in some kind of story. Yes, I am all for both of those.
Hmm.
Um, I I would love to see Avar, Elzar, and Stellan, similar to what Wreath and his Padawan friends kind of went through, like when they explore a little bit of that in Into the Dark.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'd pay to listen to that story.
I'm just picturing them now as Harry, Ron, and Hermione from Harry Potter, the three of them as children.
I've seen the meme going around where it's like, why is it always you three? And it's just their pictures.
Oh no.
Completely unrelated, but you all saw that poll that I posted, right? Do you
I
want to know what
believe so.
won?
What? Who won?
Okay, so it was Ava, Elzar, and Stellan, that polycule. It got 1,305 votes, and second place got 480 votes.
Elzar was number one.
No, it was a polycule poll, so
Oh,
like the
okay.
relationship between the three of them.
Oh, okay.
The OT3.
The OT3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and that's another thing. I've talked about this a few times. I love that we get like a trio, a trinity of characters when it comes to these Star Wars stories. And for the High Republic, our trinity is Ellen, or I mean, Ellen, Stellan, Elzar, and
That's the
Avar.
ship name.
Yeah, Ellen. Yeah, for our
Stellan
Elzar and
DeGeneres.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, she pops up on Starlight running the talk show actually.
No,
Um,
no.
which I've seen the transmissions from Starlight Twitter account and I love it.
Yes, I love that one. They were just
Um,
talking about who would win in a trivia contest. I was like, Comac and Wreath, hands
oh,
down.
absolutely. And they'd be like, "You're cheating. You're using a holocron."
No, they've just memorized all of the
Yeah.
holocron.
Um, but yeah, I would love Wreath and Comac as like this road trip buddy cop comedy type thing
Oh yeah.
because
Yeah.
like their adventures would be lighthearted.
Yes.
Speaking of buddy cop things, there's
Hmm.
supposed to be I think it's a comic run coming out
Yes.
where they do a Jedi and a public investigator, like
Yes.
from
Yeah.
Coruscant Guard, and they team up,
Hmm.
and like the dynamic between them, which I'm so excited to read about because it's more world building.
Yes. That
I am
is
too, especially with Daniel Jose Older's like paramedic background,
yeah.
like kind of, I'm sure, been around that world a little bit, so
Yeah.
very
That's
realistic.
yeah, that's going to be Daniel Jose Alder's Trail of Shadows, which is I believe a 4-issue Marvel run. I believe
Hmm.
it's going to be 4 issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, which
Um,
go
and
ahead.
speaking of Starlight and medical dramas, I was just thinking because I think this is like how my dad explained it to me, but basically they choose hospitals because they're interested and they keep getting new people coming in and out all the time.
Uh-huh.
I want to see something like that, but with Starlight. So we saw Deep Space Nine, right?
Oh, I love Deep Space Nine.
It would be so interesting to get like a Deep Space Nine style show about Starlight.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's I felt a lot of Deep Space Nine influences when they talk about Starlight. And like when you're on Starlight in the beginning of Tempest Runner, it feels like Deep Space Nine. And some of the short stories that we've gotten in Star Wars Insider, which I would love if those were audio dramas too. Like
Oh
just do
yeah.
one giant audio drama for the Star Wars Insider stories. It has a Deep Space Nine feel, and
It
it
does.
it, it
Hmm.
really does. And I just I think that that was a great influence on like some of the stuff for this. Um, yeah, I would love like a medical show set on Starlight. I would love a police investigation show set on Starlight. Um, probably not
Yeah,
gonna get
because
it.
they choose these because it's hard to run out of different situations because
Yeah.
you've got new people coming
Yeah.
in all the time,
Hmm.
new cases, new
Yeah.
deaths, new crimes, just in general. It's
As long as
why I
it can
don't like
star buckets of blood.
it's why I don't like firefighter shows because like obviously like firefighters are interesting, you know? But like there's only so many times you can put out a fire.
Well, that's why I
Yeah.
stopped watching Chicago Fire. That and a lot of the unnecessary drama. But no, I get that. Yeah, I Starlight's one of those special cases because there's so much that I want to see done with it. But I have a feeling it's all just going to go up in a few months anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
we saw what happened to Deep Space Nine. Because Deep Space Nine, obviously, it survived,
Yeah.
but they went to war.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. Which is one of my favorite story arcs for Deep Space Nine. That the Dominion War story arc is amazing. Now, we're off topic here, but that's fine. Fallen Star. We know Stellan is actually another name for star, or could he be the
Yep.
Fallen Star?
But there's also that one quote which is like Starlight and Starlight meant Ava.
Yeah.
Which is why it might be. But then also the firebrands,
Yeah.
stars burning.
I've got a whole head cannon.
Yeah. This is
A lot.
why we're gonna have a lot of people on our High Republic show talking about this. I swear to, if Avar dies, I too will die. You're not gonna die, Arya. You're
I
not
don't think
gonna
Avar's going
die.
to die.
No.
I
I
don't think she's died. I think she's going to be a fallen Jedi.
I think she leaves the order halfway
Mhm.
through this. Stellan can die, but Avar is not allowed to.
Oh
Okay,
no.
close your ears for this, Arya. But I'm gonna talk about why narratively it might be kind of good if Ava dies. Just because she represents the good
Yeah.
in the Republic, and her dying would represent the start of the decline towards what we get in the prequel Jedi.
Yeah. I think that that's one of the catalysts to it. Um, is Plagueis the end game here?
I would be surprised if it's not.
Canonizing Darth Plagueis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the way that you have to go because
I think knowing that Acolyte is going to take place towards the end of the High Republic era, I
Yeah.
think was what they were saying.
Oh
I
yeah, the
can't
web
see it
novel.
going in.
I haven't actually started reading it because I want to use it for translation practice. Basically, I've managed to find a translation of the Chinese web novel that is set towards the end of the High Republic era.
Oh,
It
cool.
is entirely in Mandarin. There are
Mhm.
no official translations,
Hmm.
but that is going to be good for world building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I love the idea of the Acolyte being towards the end of Phase 3 of the High Republic.
Hmm.
I think that's how you end Phase 3 of the High Republic,
I
actually.
think so too, and bring it into what we see in
Yeah,
the prequels.
because there you can show whoever survives all of this.
Yeah.
Because I think that there are a lot of characters that are not going to be making it out of this era. We've already seen that these authors love to kill people.
Yes, they do. I will say, just bring it back to Tempest Runner.
Yeah, sorry.
Kevin's officially forgiven
Yeah,
briefly. You know,
briefly.
he followed up Rising Storm with this, and he didn't break our hearts as much as he did with the first one. So he's got a reprieve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's forgiven. Justina Ireland, though, no. No. You're
I love her, but she's got to stop.
the only one that I'm not mad at is Daniel Jose Alder.
Yes. Yeah.
But I have
Wait,
a
what did
feeling
Charles do?
Charles had Loden kidnapped
Yeah.
or captured and then tortured.
Hmm.
Well, Cavan
What
also
did
had him
Claudia
tortured.
do?
Yeah, they were both in on that.
Claudia.
Claudia released the Drengir.
Yeah, Claudia released Drengir through Wreath and Comac and Orla.
But nobody
She
died.
was on thin ice with me when I thought that Dez was gone. Dez is back. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'd love an audio drama about his exile.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yep.
I would love an audio drama about that. I'd love an Orla Jareni Wayseeker audio drama.
That was the
Yeah.
other one I was thinking of. I'd love to see more of her.
Yeah, I mean, the High Republic has introduced so many interesting jobs for Jedi and like
Hmm.
occupations. Just give me stories about the rest of these people that are like going about doing all this stuff.
Yeah,
There's so much potential because like we might see some Wayseeker stuff in here.
I would
it's
love
true.
that. I would love that. Um,
I need a Porter Engle and a Yoda cookbook. Just the two of them together. Yoda on the baking, Porter Engle on his like outpost recipes.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Because like only 3 people have plot armor, and that is Yoral, Poof, Yoda, and Oppo.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, and Jabba the Hutt.
yeah,
Wait, is
yeah,
he in this? I
There
thought it
was
was
a
a different.
mention to him in High Republic Adventures.
Ah, okay.
yeah.
I don't think he showed up, but they mentioned him by name.
And Charles has been name dropping like a lot of High Republic people too, and like War of the Bounty Hunters also.
Yeah.
I need to
Yeah,
get caught up on that.
And then yeah, because
Porter Yoda cookbook.
Sava is it Sava Staros? Is
Uh,
Yeah, Staros,
she's
yeah, yeah.
descended from Avon, and then the
the
place
graphs.
that Belle and Loden were when Belle was training.
Ephrona or
Aphra,
Elfrona,
Hmm.
yeah.
yeah.
That is in the Ben Solo comics.
Yep.
That's right.
So Luke
Hmm.
takes him there. And
So
the
is the
Amrak
Amexine
space
spaceship.
station is
Yeah,
where Snoke took Ben.
that's in. Is that in Rise of Kylo Ren? Yeah, that's
It
in
is,
Rise of
yeah.
Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had Avar in the holocron in
Yeah,
that
that
one.
that was her first appearance.
Hmm.
Is
That's right.
she's wearing armor in that though?
And why is her holocron not lost in the temple on Coruscant?
Yeah.
Why is it
But
out in the middle of
the thing is,
nowhere?
they looted a lot of the Jedi stuff was looted,
Yeah.
but then
That's
also
true.
a lot of stuff could have gotten into storage, or when Starlight, because like we don't really see Starlight, so like it could just like be a dead station at this point, or
Yeah.
a repurposed station. But also, if it's like completely destroyed, all the stuff that was in the archives blown up in like lost in space, and then someone could have
Hmm.
picked it up.
Well, we know some of the stuff was also destroyed on Valo too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because of everything that went down there. Uh, just don't get me started on that. Um, because we're going to talk about We Are One during our big show.
Are we
Um,
going to have a sing along?
we can if you want. No.
No.
Kevin Scott's It's a Small World. Um,
Oh, as a Disney aficionado, I loved that.
oh, I did too. Um, but so all in all, we love Tempest Runner. I know that the conversation got out of hand. We started speculating, but it's all good. Um,
I was
Like,
not
tangents are the
excited
best
going into
part of
this.
the podcast.
what was that?
Tangents are the best part of any podcast.
Yeah, they are, and I shouldn't apologize for it.
I was
Um,
just going to say I was not excited for Lorna D, but now I am like, give me all of the Lorna D, please. I
yes. Lorna
think that's what
D.
they meant to do with this.
Yes, Lorna D is a fantastic character. I still have hope for her. I still think that one day she's going to turn it around. I think that it's going to be a drastic change, though. Like something's
Hmm.
going to go down. I think that we haven't seen the last of Seston yet.
No.
I think that she's
I
actually going.
definitely think she's gonna be because like, does she keep the secret that Lorna's alive?
I think so.
I think she does, but she's the key to Lorna's redemption.
Hmm.
She's the key to Lorna's ideal life, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so that's it for tonight.
Hmm.
I hope that you guys had a good time. I know that we had a good
So
time
much.
talking about it.
I did. It's so nice to talk to people because, like, okay, it's
Go ahead.
nice typing and like talking on Twitter and stuff, but it's nice to talk to people like out loud about the High Republic.
Yes.
Same, absolutely agree.
You both are welcome on the show anytime. I have to say that. You two have been some of my favorite guests talking about this. Um, it's just been great. So thank you once again. I know that it was late for you, Lil, and I apologize for the late hour.
It's
It's
okay.
it's usually just better for us to go like
She's
live
young,
right
it's
there.
fine.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. I remember when I was burning the candle at both ends. Um,
Yeah.
but I just
I
want to
don't start uni for another month, so
Oh, well, there we go.
Yep.
Um, so we have that going on. So our High Republic, just a few things. Our High Republic show is the 18th, so just in a couple of weeks, we're going to be talking about every single thing in the High Republic. We're going to be covering phase one, or well, wave one, wave two. We're going to even speculate about wave three before we get into phase two. We had a few speculations tonight, so we're going to be talking about that. Don't forget also our RPG show premieres on the 26th. That is a Sunday night at 8 p.m. We are playing a Star Wars RPG using the Fate system set during the Old Republic. So this isn't officially canon. We can do whatever we want. If we want Yoda to just, pop up 1,000 years beforehand, we can. It doesn't matter. We're probably not going to
trouble.
do
It
that, but
exists.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, World Between Worlds. Oh, I might throw that in. What?
Do
Uh,
it.
anyway,
Yeah, the Lethal Temple. Are you gonna?
I can't tell you what I'm doing yet. A game master never tells. I mean, I can, but I'll tell you later.
Speaking of tabletop RPGs,
Sure.
I am part of a Star Wars hyperspace tabletop game.
Nice.
We're doing our next episode on Friday at 6:30 p.m. CST. I don't know, it's 1:30 a.m. for me, so um
That should be what, 7:30 Eastern?
yes, that'll be 7:30
Yeah.
Eastern. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, so I always have like the link to the YouTube channel in my bio.
Yes. Check that out. Actually, plug yourselves on social media if you want
Yeah.
to. Where can people
So
find you?
TikTok, I am Crime Lord Amidala with underscores between the words. And I mainly post about the High Republic and general Star Wars meme stuff and cosplays.
Hmm.
Um, I will also like post like general TikToky stuff on there. I also have a Twitter, which is Owl Sanctuary. Um, and that's like Owl Sanctuary without the C. And from there, you can find my card where you can find like all of my social media.
Nice. Lavender, how about you?
I'm on Twitter as Jedi Librarian, except it's the Mandalorian spelling of Jedi, Jetii. And then you can find me on Instagram as Lavender Green Tea with underscores between the words. That's also my TikTok, but I'm not very active on there because I'm old. My Instagram is mostly lots of Star Wars fan art, book reviews, food, and Disney pics because I'm at Disney all the time. So, and thank you so much for having us on the show
Oh,
tonight. This was
yeah.
really great.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
This
you're
was
welcome. Go ahead.
this was really nice. I've
Yeah.
never been on a podcast before.
No,
Same.
like I said, you two are welcome anytime. I know you guys are most likely going to join us for the big show, the High Republic
Yeah.
show. That is, it's probably going to be a long one. We might actually move the time up to about 7 p.m. Eastern if we have to, because there's a lot to cover for that show. So, um,
Mhm.
I want to thank everybody that stopped by
So
and
much
chat.
material.
So much material. Yeah, I'm looking down
Those-
at my bookshelf now. Um, And we're actually going to okay. So one of the topics, I'll give you one topic that we have for our High Republic show before we say goodbye. One of the topics will be integration of the High Republic into Disney parks. We are going to be talking about that as one of our topics,
Hmm.
as well as everything else. So think about that. Think about what they could do for both.
No, but I've thought
Probably
about this
already got a
before.
list.
Um, they could do a day at the fair.
Oh no.
Is it just like a special event? They do a day at the fair, but like they promise no Nile.
It's ticketed. It's like $160 day at the fair.
Yep.
You can do it at Epcot. You can do it at Epcot because of World Showcase.
Drink around Valo.
Yeah, exactly. High Republic Days on Batu, please. Yes.
Yes.
So we will be talking about that very, very soon. Lil IDK bestie. Yeah. You guys. Well, we're all best friends when it comes to the High Republic. We
We are
love
all the
this.
Republic.
We are all the Republics. That Arya says that thought did not go that well. Lil. So, um, thank you all once again. Thank you to chat for joining us. Thank you, Lil. Thank you, Lavender. That's it for us this week. We will be back next week. Next week will be our Star Wars Resistance show. We're going to be talking about all things that. Stay tuned. I might have some guests there, or I might fly solo. Who knows? My co host Dana will be back here very, very soon. So you will be seeing her soon. And that's it. Just remember, may the force be with you. May you always fight for light and life. And at the end of the day, we're all the Republic. That's it for us. Have a wonderful week.